No, next.
Well, okay, so with that said, let's go ahead and bring on the first competitor that Brian hopes he dislikes.
I didn't say that.
Arsenault.
I didn't say that.
What's up, Ross?
Hey, guys.
I had Brian. I'm sorry. I had.
Yeah, you're in full asshole mode today.
You threw yourself out there, and I just took it and ran with it. So.
Don't worry, karma comes right back at you. Just be ready.
Ross, well, first of all, thank you so much for joining us and being a part of this, and welcome to not just POV, but the crazy thing that is the Schmoedown community now that you are officially on the draft board.
Yes, thanks so much for having me on. It's been a really weird but cool kind of time to see the way things have kind of unfolded, and Friday will be even weirder and hopefully even cooler.
Yeah, no, that's very true. So we know that you were one of the 4, I believe, that were recently announced just a couple days ago that were on the final draft list going into Friday. And so we want to make sure we give you as much time as possible to be in front of not just our fans, but the whole community in general. We can clip this out for you, and that way everybody can see it. So just to kind of start things off a little bit, can you give everyone in the chat and those who watch on replay a little bit of explanation of where you come from with the Schmoedown and Star Wars and how you kind of got involved in all this?
Yeah, sure. I was born on Hoth. It was a very cold day.
Nice.
No, I'm Canadian, and
not
so
a lot of life forms there. Interesting.
Well, the ones that are there either smell bad or eat the ones that do. But I've got some moose in the freezer. It's what life is as a Canadian. But no, I've grown up always loving Star Wars. I don't remember a time in my life having not seen the original trilogy. It was likely because my dad knew, oh, okay, well, he'll be 5 when the new ones come out. I think we really need to make sure that he sees those all. And so I really can't remember a time in which I haven't seen them. I've loved Empire since I was a little kid. A New Hope was my sick day movie. Star Wars has always been my absolute favorite. I painted broomsticks in the yard and fought with the neighbors. We would make tunnels we lived on a corner lot. And so the snowplow would come by and make these giant mounds, and you could tunnel the way through, and it was just like Echo Base. It was amazing. And so things like that really just kind of controlled the creativity of my childhood. And as I noticed and just got into the podcast world, and certainly when The Force Awakens, when Disney purchased Star Wars and The Force Awakens was coming out, and all the podcasts kind of resurged, and I found Christian through there, whether it was Far, Far Away, and then Jedi Council. And of course, he talked so much about the Schmoedown, and then I saw the Sam Witwer match, and that was incredible. And then so I had to go, and I had to see every match there was, and I've kept up with that ever since, and got really into the rest of the entire league last year. The way the factions kind of divided things up, it made it easy to follow, and then the storylines hook you when maybe you're not thinking they're going to hook you as much, and then you're really waiting for those specific things. I have to say also the promo you did with Adam Witt last year, Molly, was easily promo of the year. That was awesome. I loved that one. That was great.
We kind of gave ourselves that award since they skipped over it at the
you
awards
deserved
this
it.
year. So yeah, we'll take it. But thank you.
We already know that we like him, so damn it, there's one.
Very fair. Yeah, it's cool because we've obviously talked to a lot of rookies, and there's a couple of them that have like a vast knowledge or history with Schmoedown as far as watching it and number of seasons. A lot of them have gone back recently and kind of caught back up, or really just invested their time into it. And so it's really cool to meet someone who has pretty much been on the outside watching for so long, very much like how we have been. And we wish you the best of luck going forward, obviously, because we want to see those more people like that in the league.
I appreciate that. I certainly hope it goes well in that regard. It's been something that I've been playing along, and this past year in particular, especially, of course, the Star Wars tournament, I really took that as okay, let me put myself in the shoes of everybody and see how well I can do. And it went really well. And so then when the opportunity came up, I forget when Christian first announced it, whether it was it's like early December or something. I don't remember exactly when, but when he put out those feelers, I knew I needed to do it. I had a pretty crazy December for work, and so I intended to do it over my Christmas break. And then they released a first draft list as well, and so I was like, oh damn it! Now everybody's getting their word out, and they're starting these conversations. But fortunately, the second batch came through, and I was on that one because I only got it in with I got it in with some time left, but in that last week.
Hey, as long as you got it in, so that works. That works.
Oh, absolutely. And I was glad I was able to stand out in those last few.
Really?
You're the one that said it, not me.
All right, I'll go ahead and shoot the first one to Molly if she wants to start us off here with the question for Ross.
Sure. This hasn't been one that I've been asking, but I'm curious. First of all, I love the background. I'm like just picking apart everything back there and looking at it.
That helmet is like just amazing.
Molly, that's kind of like how I've been judging my people. Like, do you have a good background? Because
right here is where my sideshow Grogu will go when he arrives. He's in it's a long tracking process that they give you. Yeah. So that's a TBD one. But I've been filling it up over the last little bit. My childhood dream was always the AT-AT, so I went with the ATM-6, but it was that was a fun one to build this last year.
Nice. Do you like do any podcast or like any Star Wars related stuff as a job or like as a hobby?
No, I don't do it as a job, but as a hobby. So my brother's in radio, and so he's got a couple podcasts, and I love Star Wars, and so it was just something that we kind of did as a bonding experience because our family was sick of us just talking about Star Wars when we had get-togethers, and we'll do like a regular dinner, and so it really was starting to annoy them. And he suggested we do that, and so we've had a podcast. We have 105 episodes, so it's about 130 probably-ish hours of content in there, and we picked apart all the movies and the Mandalorian and a few other things, and kind of breaking down our top 6 and 6 of our favorites across the board. It's called Recorder 66, and so that's why we just break things down in good old Palpatine's order of faction there.
Nice.
I love the name Recorder 66. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
I love that. And then I guess one of my other questions that I've been asking the Star Wars competitors is, unless you don't want to give away any of your strengths, is there a particular wheel on the Star Wars slice, meaning a movie, I guess, or you could say quotes, heroes and villains, mixed bag. Is there a particular slice on the wheel that you think you'd be really bomb at?
Oh man,
that's a tough one because you don't want to give anything away.
But at the same time, if you're trying to get into Star Wars, you have to be good at all of it.
Yeah,
you can't have a weakness.
There is no weakness, and so really the only thing I would say is it really doesn't align for me. And when it comes to my personal preference or favorite movie, and the ones that necessarily is my best category, because it's pretty obvious the more you watch it, A New Hope and Empire have the deepest cuts. It's not even close, and so. I may have an absurd amount of practice questions for A New Hope. I may have seen A New Hope the most number of times. Empire may still be my favorite. So the odds are I'm going to know most of them, but there's a decent chance there's going to be a Bob Anderson in there. And those are the kind of things that you can never really be aware of. And so, like you said, you have to be prepared for all of them. I think I would, I would do well regardless of the era.
That's the correct answer.
And I'm also eager for them to add Mando, Clone Wars, and Rebels next year too.
Yeah, that would be interesting, especially Clone Wars, because you can't just plan out, okay, a couple of weeks, I'll do a rewatch of the movies. Clone Wars, that's going to take some time.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely. It'll blow everything wide open. It'll make it certainly more difficult, but it's a challenge that I'm certainly up for. And so it would get my vote if I'm fortunate enough to make it into the Star Wars division next year.
Great.
God, Clone Wars would be a night.
That would just be the disaster. it would literally be the great disaster of the Schmoedown.
You were waiting to use that. Yeah, nice.
It just came to me, things just come to me sometimes.
Mhm.
Okay, I have 2 comments. I want to throw this one comment up because this one's just funny to me. Can anyone tell this noob what this is? I jumped over from Star Wars Explained live stream. That Schmoedown that Alex and Molly talk about constantly on their channel. This is what we're talking about here, is the Schmoedown. Obviously, Molly is a competitor. Ross is an incoming rookie who's looking to be drafted, and we're just talking Schmoedown. So thank you so much for joining.
Oh boy. There's Alex playing the current Star Wars champion is in the other room yelling, playing Resident Evil 8.
I literally was because of these headphones. I was like, "Is that me or is that not me?" I can't.
That's got to be trippy for the guy that just sent that because he just came over from.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Alex is being scared by scary things currently.
Star Wars is nowhere on his mind right now.
All right, and then we have one Streamlabs that has come in from Kylie with her typical question as of late anyway, and she had asked, so we have actual real dragons, a Godzilla, and Scrimshaw, who is a freaking Jedi. So what fictional creature will you be to be different in this crazy load division?
Oh, what creature from the galaxy far, far away?
So the Dragon Con players, they've been
dragons, of course.
So,
and
so Sean has been deemed.
Wampa was way too easy to kill.
True.
I mean, if you have a lightsaber, sure, but otherwise might be a little hard.
I'm shifty. And even if the odds look like they're stacked up against me, I think I can find my way out of there. And so I'm going to go with Boga the Varactyl. I'm going to save the greatest Jedi of all. I'll throw Joseph Scrimshaw on my back and we will get our way out of there.
Nice.
Great answer.
I love Boga's sound effect for its little noises that it makes. It's like rah, rah.
Oh, it's so shrieking. I love it.
Yeah.
Jake, do you know who that is?
Good answer.
Brian, I know who that is. Yeah. All right, Brian, what do you got for Ross?
So obviously you're aware of how the Schmoedown works, so this works even easier. Is there a manager, and you don't have to say a name if you don't feel like it, that you feel like you would be very well geared towards? And if you don't want to say a name, what type of things would you look for in a manager if given the opportunity to play?
For sure. I think there's a couple managers that would maybe suit my style a little bit better than others. I certainly do want an opportunity to practice with my team, to work with my team. I'd like to be able to do some war rooms. I'd like to be able to, I've been a tutor for many, many years. I'm not a tutor anymore, but I absolutely love math, and people don't like math. And so it can be fun to also kind of creatively work with people on ways to figure out different memory techniques. I took a memory course in university, and it's interesting when you can figure out these different study tactics for yourself and for other people. And I want to be able to do that. And also it's a phenomenal community to be able to share ideas with people. And so I'd like to be able to kind of have that camaraderie within my team. So I think that any kind of manager who's able to just build a strong team environment is a good thing, and somebody who is able to be a supportive counterpart during the match as well.
Interesting. I feel like the idea of you knowing some like memorization techniques kind of perked a lot of managers' ears up just then, or will.
I hope so.
When they hear this. Interesting.
Yeah, I have my master's in technology, entrepreneurship, and innovation. I've been a nerd since I was a little kid, and I always liked competition, especially when it came to like math games. I was a math Olympian, and so I know competitive nerdiness. Let me put it that way. I don't necessarily.
You're making my head hurt just by saying the word math.
I know. I'm sitting here going, I'm a 7th grade teacher, and when my students ask me questions, I'm like, I don't know.
Where's your calculator?
Google
it.
They
always said you never have your calculator wherever you go when you grow up.
Yeah,
but that's exactly what we do.
Now we have them. Yeah, now we have them. I do have to ask though, because obviously the Schmoedown has evolved over the last 2 years or so in study tactics and the way that players approach the game. And it sounds like you can bring, outside of just Star Wars, it sounds like you can bring something to all players in all divisions that a manager would really enjoy to have on their team that could help that one person or a few get over the hump of getting a couple points for their faction. And it seems like something a manager could really utilize through the entire year.
I'd like to think so. I think I can be valuable outside of Star Wars, even if I'm not the one who's necessarily playing. I mean, maybe over time I could be a valuable B player on a team because I know a lot more when I play along with teams and singles than I should, just because I'm a bit of a sponge with information and I do listen to a lot of podcasts. But it's something that it's been an interesting thing that I really want to dive back into, is to kind of working with other people on different study tactics and techniques. And I think with IG, you have a set number of films that you can work from. I've been also working on some different study tactics for myself as well. Certain things that I'm noticing, like, okay, I can't get this, and I consistently can't get this to stick in my mind. And then there's some other thing, and I noticed just recently the other day, something I could not get to stick in my mind. I got it in 5 minutes and it's not left my mind since. And I had been just kind of passively studying it a different way for a little while and just was never sticking. And so those things are always really nice to find those nuggets. And then you can kind of extrapolate, okay, what kind of question was that? Why couldn't I study it that way? And then you can kind of figure out different kind of questions that you want to put into a different kind of study format so that you're going to study the right ones the right way.
Wow.
The three of us are just like, all right.
Wow. We like movies.
Where were you sitting next to me in college? God.
It was usually an ideal seat.
Yeah. Up in the front where I was nowhere to be found, probably.
All right, so I'll go ahead and ask one of Jill's scenario questions. That way she's kind of here in spirit. So let's say you're playing, just someone who either has one match or even an incoming rookie, and you finish up the first round and you end up with a lead, a couple points, and you have a decision to either spin first or defer on the wheel. What would you go with and why?
I have a lead.
You have a lead.
So I'm deferring, yeah, because I'm picking the wheel. I'm definitely deferring because information's king. You have more information when you know what your other opponent's score is. Look at, it's not the same thing because it's not the wheel round, but look at what happened at Spectacular. Had Alex had a very clear look at the board, he doesn't need to answer how many films Han Solo's in. He wins the game. It's already over there. It's because he has more information because he went second. And so you always can keep that sort of thought process in mind in entering round two, is if I'm this many behind, or if I'm this many ahead, then you'll go into the next round knowing, okay, well, maybe they had an atrocious round and you're already still ahead. Now just play your one pointers on the ones that you really don't need to risk on. It's you can really save your ass. And some people play wild in round two when they don't need to.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
I feel like you get along really great with Ben Bateman. I feel like you guys
like
have
Ben.
the same mindset when it comes to playing the game, which is a good thing.
I like to think so. He does some goal setting on his stream, and so I kind of did a call out and said, I'm gonna call my shot with Star Wars, that if I can make it, I can guarantee I can hang.
Nice.
I like it because we also had another rookie on the show, Felix Morit, who brought a very similar style of like approach.
Shmoneyball,
yeah. And and it's a little different the way he approaches it in far as like calculations, and it's more so on theory and what he expects to happen. But it's just so fun to see these rookies come in with you and Felix and even others are finding a way, a small corner inside this world that can really make managers think, oh wow, nobody else is doing that. And it's really interesting to hear from our side. You break it down, everything like that.
Thanks. I played a lot of fantasy hockey, and no one would play with me anymore. I like when you can break down statistics and figure out kind of different strategies and use numbers to your advantage. But then when it comes to something like Star Wars, it is less of a strategic part of Schmoedown compared to the other parts of the game, because the misses are so much more important. And so therefore getting your actual possible points earned is easily the most valuable in the Star Wars division. So at the end of the day, you just need to really know your stuff.
Yeah. To quote the great Joseph Scrimshaw, it's basically who brain farts first. And I have very good experience with brain farts.
You'll redeem yourself with that one. It'll come.
Maybe one day.
We all have a brain
It
fart.
always happens.
Yeah. All right, Molly, Brian, do you guys have anything else you want to ask Ross before we move on to our POV question?
I won't ask you to cut a promo because I'm not Jill.
We're not hazers like she is.
But I will ask, as far as the character work of the Schmoedown goes, I feel like you've probably gotten a good sense of that thus far. What do you think about that side of it? Like, are you a wrestling fan? Do you think you could cut a good promo, get a good character arc going?
Yeah, I'm not a wrestling fan at all, but I am very much a fan of storytelling, and I'm very much a fan of adding a little theatrical essence to said storytelling. I've done a lot of presentations for my job, presented in front of a lot of people, and I like to do it with a bit of sass, and so I don't really have so much of a worry in that regard. And I'm actually really quite excited to kind of adopt or develop a character, whether it's out of something that is evident in my personality or maybe a little bit more hidden in my personality, but to really kind of bring that out and just to have fun with it. I mean, I'm having a lot of fun, just the studying aspect of things, but it's also fun to ham it up a little bit. And I had an absolute blast making my audition and my promos. And it was, I learned a couple technical skills. I didn't know how to video edit, but I learned how to make a force hollow. And so I sent a hollow message, it's threatening your husband, unfortunately. But
it's okay. He gets threats every day.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, you can't go into the Star Wars division and say, I want to be not as good as Alex, but good. I mean, no, you have to be able to go in and you have to show that you want to earn your way, but earn your way to the top and to one day face the champion. And so I had a lot of fun doing that. And I think it also shows that I can put a lot of effort and learn some things in a pretty short amount of time to be able to put those to good use as well. So,
yeah, it sounds like you have a leg up on a lot of aspects of the Schmoedown. I
hope so.
I mean, speaking for myself, like I have never been a person to feel comfortable in front of a lot of people, but I mean, like I've kind of gotten there more and more as I do more live streams and stuff like that and stuff on the channel. So it sounds like you're good on that. The memorization stuff I'm very impressed with, and I want to pick your brains. So if you get drafted, I hope you are drafted on my team.
Be happy to help. I'm happy to share it with anybody on the faction. I even think it's even better thing is the fact that the factions are becoming a little bit more established. So there's a higher likelihood of more returning players. And so I think you're going to get a little bit more interfaction sharing this year. And I think that that's only a positive thing. And so maybe next year the factions are retaining 5 or 6 players and the draft is only the rookies. And so who knows how these things are going to shake up over time.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, quickly here, we'll finish with our POV question. We're all movie fans. Brings us together here on the channel and in the community. So what do you have for a favorite movie snack and a favorite candy?
Favorite movie snack would have to be Tostitos. Whether that's with salsa or like sweet chili flavored, love some sweet chili flavored, or just general like a salsa spicy flavored. I know we have a lot of different chips in Canada as well. So that like we have do you guys have ketchup chips? And has it found its way into the US finally? Slowly. Good.
Yeah, within the past couple of years. Yeah.
That's nice to see. And for candy, I love sour candy, but I don't eat a bunch of sour candy. I do eat a lot of dark chocolate though. I eat like bags of dark chocolate chips. So let's go with that one.
Perfect.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Ross, thank you so much for hanging out with us. And you know, we're glad to give you a little bit of spotlight here before the draft on Friday. I know you've had, quite the week being such a short time period for you, but we look forward to Friday for you and good luck with everything, man.
Thanks so much for having me on. I really appreciate it and enjoy the draft as well, guys.
Yeah. Thank you. Have a good one, Ross.
Good luck.
Cheers.
All right. Just continuing that trend. Just continuing that trend.
Yeah. I don't know how people are going to pick.
It's not fair. It's just not fair.